Lights.
Camera.
Action.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Million Dollar Media. I'm your host, Max Kellerhals, and with me today I have...
Nora Johnson.
Josh Nicholson.
Who are both returning guests from Anime April. And Josh, you've been here many times.
I'm a series regular.
Yes, you are. And today we are going to be talking about the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Yes. So a general plot synopsis. This movie is about Evelyn, played by Michelle Yeoh,
Doing her taxes.
doing her taxes.
And that is all that it's about.
It's just tax season.
Dude, I know that's just the plot synopsis on, like, regular
Yeah.
websites, but, like, we have to prepare the audience a bit
No, I
more.
know for sure. I mean, more than that is given away in the trailer. I was just doing a bit.
I know. Yes, she's doing her taxes. She owns a laundromat, currently going through marriage problems with her husband, Waymond, played by Ki Huy Kwan, who is Short Round from Indiana Jones. He is finally back and doing acting again after... How many years? Like 30 years?
Something like that. He had a couple other roles, like, kind of scattered throughout the years, but this is, I think, one of his, like, larger comeback roles.
Yeah,
in a while.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see him back. She has a lesbian daughter who is trying to come out. Well, not come out, but, like, introduce her girlfriend to her grandfather. The daughter is played by
Laura Sue?
Stephanie Sue.
Yeah.
Stephanie Sue.
Stephanie Sue, yeah.
And then her grandfather is played by the great James Hahn from, God, he's been in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in the Kung Fu Panda films as Poe's dad. He's
Mr. Ping.
Mr. Ping. He's also been in one of my favorite 80s movies, Big Trouble in Little China, which is a very fun movie. But again, it's nice to see him in this. And they have to go to a tax agency, the IRS, I believe it is in the movie.
Yeah.
And because their auditor is trying to get their company, the auditor is played by Jamie Lee Curtis in a very fun role.
Yeah, no, that performance as Deirdre was
quite
something.
Yeah.
I think...
and along the way of getting their taxes, I don't know, like, signed off.
They're being audited, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I think it is important that it's because Evelyn has bought all of this shit that's like, is this related to the laundromat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like Evelyn is a very layered and flawed character.
Yeah, and again, like there were early drafts of this movie that were focused on being about adult ADHD, and while I think that that's not the key premise anymore, you can see elements of it in Evelyn come through really clearly.
Mm-hmm. Especially with what happens to her when her husband all of a sudden gets possessed by a alternate reality version of himself. Alpha Women, who recruits her to stop the
Jobu Tabaki.
Jobu. Man, I just flipped it. Jobu, and even in the movie, they kind of fucked up the name of it.
Yeah.
Jobu Tabaki, who is a multiversal threat, so they recruit Evelyn to go on this multiverse, not spanning because she doesn't physically cross dimensions. Her consciousness crosses dimensions, and that's how they explain it away. And you have to do this by doing some weird shit.
Really weird
this
shit.
is definitely not a movie for people who are like really sensitive.
Oh no!
No.
Like if you have a weak stomach, this may not be the movie for you. People do some gross shit repeatedly.
But some fucking hilarious gross shit.
It's awesome.
It's
100%.
like if Jackass took over and was like, "Hey, this is how we." Cross dimensions by doing some really funny, gross stuff. But there's some action in this movie. There's a lot of good heart in this movie. And yeah, I highly recommend it to anybody, but we're going to keep talking about it. Let's start with Nora. What are your thoughts on this movie?
It was... Oh my god. I walked out of the theater thinking that... Okay, just for clarification, I had only seen one trailer for it, and it was like way before I actually saw the movie, so I kind of had forgotten what I had seen in the trailer, and I was only going in with the premise of sort of like a 50 to 60-year-old woman who's a mom and married suddenly just gets tossed into a sci-fi movie not knowing what sci-fi is. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I got, but with so many layers that I didn't think I was going to get, and I thought that was fantastic. And I think Michelle Yeoh really just kills it in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody kills it in this movie, but Michelle Yeoh really kills it in this movie.
Michelle Yeoh, she really brings a lot of heart to the movie because it is her movie and she's in 99% of this movie. And she brings the action, she brings the heart, she brings the funny moments too. And I don't see her do comedy all that too much.
She is great at it.
She has some really good comedic timing.
Awesome. It's crazy. And, you know, if I had a nickel for every time Michelle Yeoh played a flawed mother character whose name started with an E, I'd have 2 nickels, which is weird that it happened twice. But, you know, it happened twice, and I had to pull out that meme because I kept thinking about it in the theater.
I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I
You're welcome.
Okay, yeah. It's a love letter to all her movies as well.
Absolutely.
Like, it's from her dramatic work and, like, Memoirs of a Geisha, and to her more action roles, such as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, the movie homages are great throughout this movie.
I'm not going to spoil the full context or what movie it is a reference to. There is an overt homage to a classic sci-fi movie in this film that is one of the highlights, for sure.
It was so clever how because the homages in this movie range from, again, sci-fi to Disney films.
Yes.
Disney Pixar films, if you want to be very specific. Yeah. But it was...
They sure do.
Yeah, it was so... But it's not, like, cheeky or, like... It's cheeky, but it's done really well and clever, and they actually use the references to explain why certain things are a certain way.
The references aren't there just to be references. They benefit the plot.
Yeah, they're not just meant for, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're winks and nudges that actually help inform the plot, which I thought was so damn clever, especially with the one that's the homage to a Disney Pixar film, actually comes back in the end and is like a big character moment.
Yeah, I loved that shit happens regularly.
Yeah, it's just very smart writing. I just want to talk about the people that directed this movie real quick. It's the group called the Daniels, which is Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, Daniel Scheinert.
Scheinert, who previously did the movie The Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe and
Paul Dano! My man!
And if you've seen that movie, going into this movie, you definitely get a lot of, like, similar themes of just, like, self-love, self-discovery, and, like, a lot of even gay themes and stuff like that, and just a quick review of Swiss Army Man. Really good movie. Very weird. Daniel Radcliffe kills it. Paul Dano kills it. But yeah, I'll just quick review of Swiss Army Man. Yeah. But yeah, the Daniels have a really unique, weird directing style that I really appreciate, and I want to see more of them.
100%. Super excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to top this one.
Well, I don't think they need to top it. I want to see them do something equally as interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, like, this is set a new high bar for me on, like, how they've done it, because I've had a high bar with Swiss Army Man, and they leaps and bounds did better than Swiss Army Man in this movie. Yeah. This movie is also produced by the Russo brothers, so it was really cool to see these guys with a really creative vision have a budget to do pretty much anything they wanted.
And they really make fucking use of that.
Oh, yeah. I think coming out of the theater, you said to me about the CG in this movie.
Oh my god. Right? Like the fucking... This is in the trailers, it's not a spoiler. The flickering nails shit.
Oh my god, that was so cool.
Yeah, there's a character in this movie,
yeah, we've talked about Jobu Tupaki.
Yeah, Jobu Tupaki, who has the ability to, if she touches you, she can transform you into anything that she wants.
Yeah.
And the way they kind of do this sometimes is they show you her nails, and they flicker and change colors really quick. Yeah. And also say this about the costume design.
Oh my god.
Very, very good use of costume design, from weird and wacky to, like, no, that's a nice dress on Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
Will I be invited to share my personal thoughts
Yes, yes. Okay, how about this? Let's move on to Josh and his personal points.
Thank you.
Josh, what did you think about this movie?
I really loved it, and I wanted to specifically insert this kind of thing into the conversation. I really like science fiction. Usually, it's a genre that I have loved since I was young. And a failure I find often of science fiction is that it focuses too much on the concept of the science and not so much on how that affects people. Yeah. And so really human-focused science fiction, things like The Endless or Moon, starring Sam Rockwell, I think those movies are really, really rare and really, really stick with me. And this is absolutely an example of that kind of science fiction. And that really was just, it made me very happy to kind of see that.
The science in this movie is not factual in any sense.
No, it's it takes up a total 90 seconds maybe of the movie where they're explaining how it works.
And it's really like a hand wave explanation just to kind of, it's more like a feeling science fiction one.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think Moon is kind of a similar way.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of explanation in that, it's just happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I respect that, and I loved getting to see this genre I love embrace character and that kind of stuff, because again, it doesn't happen nearly as often as I would like, so I really appreciated getting to see that in this movie, and that was my personal big takeaway.
Okay, because you mentioned characters, who's your favorite character in this movie?
Oh, 100% Joy.
Joy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's that actress, Stephanie Sue, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
She brought it in this movie. For an actress that I've only seen in the, as a not even
a minor character.
Minor character in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, and this being her first big movie role, she fucking brought her A game.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was such a strong and interesting character, and
she also kind of had to play. Oh crap! Okay, go on.
I mean, everyone had to play a lot of characters.
I know. I was gonna say I don't want to spoil anything, but she had to play two characters, not very different, but different style characters.
Yeah.
Kind of with the same drive almost.
Yeah.
Just coming at it from two very different angles.
But yeah, I loved the character of Laura. I also loved Waymond. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I think that he does contribute to the strongest point in the movie.
Bro. Yeah, Waymond probably was my favorite character just because, again, talking about the duality he had to play with the different versions of himself.
Yeah.
He brought it, man. I'm not talking about just Alpha Waymond and Waymond. I'm also talking about the one that was in alternate reality where we find our main character Evelyn, who in a reality where she's more successful, and we see more successful versions of other characters, and it's interesting to see the Waymond that was successful. And I really like that version because he could have really played up a dickish nature to the character, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I really loved the way they did that. It's all comes down to the idea of what if I did this instead of this?
Yeah. Which, I mean, is inherently a human question.
And a great way to use the multiverse to explain that away, because the idea of a multiverse is literally branching paths. So if I took this...
The path's not taken,
yeah,
just the paths
exactly.
that I took.
And it's really interesting to see all the different realities that we went to in this movie, because not all of them are live action. There's some animated sequences. There's some that are just so
out there that it's
out there. Yeah,
there's one that borders on stop motion.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
that's
similar
very
to it.
fair.
It does border on stop motion, but that one was so creative to me.
It was so creative. It was so emotional,
and
which is wild.
It's crazy because it's such a simplistic scene too.
Yeah. I mean, it's
funny.
basically a fucking PowerPoint
Yeah,
presentation.
it is. It is. I was laughing. I was like, "This is emotional," but at its core, it's a PowerPoint presentation. Am I crying over a PowerPoint presentation in a theater? Maybe.
Yeah, and I also thought again, those were some of my favorite jokes in the movie, because something like that could have failed miserably.
Yeah.
But the fact that because it stops the movie dead in its pace, and the movie has a very fast pace. If you miss a scene, you're I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we both individually missed scenes.
Yeah, he missed my favorite scene in the movie. I think
you missed one of my favorites.
Yeah. So again,
Equals
take everything
trade-off.
with a grain of salt. But I think we have a very fair opinion on this movie. We weren't gone for a majority of the movie. We were just gone for maybe 5 minutes,
if that.
But yeah, and I will say about this movie, you will cry.
You will. Yeah, I don't think I know a single person who's watched it and not cried.
Like, I saw people next to me in the theater crying. I started crying at, like, 5 different moments in this movie. Like, I don't want to get into spoilers about why, but, like, it's all very character-based, like...
The googly eye scene.
Really?
100%.
Yeah.
What can I say? The kindness scene.
Yeah, that's the same, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah,
That-
like the googly eye scene.
Okay, yeah. I also got a big kick out of the James Hahn scene at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's really sweet, because he plays a very interesting character throughout this movie.
Very.
He does.
Because he plays like this old...
He's from the old times.
Yeah,
He's
they do the reference
back in
of
my
like
day.
he's from a different generation, so he's not used to like all like people being gay. He has a very, very strict view on like his daughter, because again, this is a Chinese family, and I'm not at the right to speak about that whole dynamic there. But there was one joke that made me laugh about that.
Yeah. No, I was laughing at that one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we talk about the action?
100%.
Absolutely.
Some of the most creative action that I have seen in a
yeah.
movie.
Hands
in
down.
So long. They got confetti in this bitch.
Literally.
You want to talk about stuff that's in this bitch?
Oh.
Oh boy.
They got assholes.
They do. They do.
do.
I was like,
This is
That
not
was-
one to watch with your parents, folks.
I watched it with my dad.
My mom wants to see this, and I
See,
told her
it's-
about that. I told her about the scene that we're talking about, and she was just like, "That sounds hilarious."
See,
Yes.
I
See,
haven't
it's
seen
weird
this with
because-
my mom.
On the one hand, it's not like it's a very kind of R-rated movie. Like it really
Oh,
is
yeah.
that. On the other hand, it is kind of a movie you should watch with your parents.
Yeah,
It's very
absolutely.
childish too. It's dumb about smart stuff and smart about the dumbest stuff,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I love. Yeah, there's a fight scene with a fanny pack that
That
was.
is-
It's awesome.
Oh
It is
my
I
God.
think that might be my favorite fight.
Yeah,
in
because
the
that's
movie.
the moment in the movie where you really get to see how the powers work. And yeah, they do have some really cool powers.
Yeah.
Nothing like Marvel or anything, but actually there is a couple actors from Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Like the Death Dealer character, who was like the guy in the mask in Shang-Chi. He's in this movie as one of the guys who sticks it. Let's just say.
Who puts a butt plug in his asshole. That's what you're trying to say, correct?
I didn't know what I should say. I don't want to spoil it. That's why. But yeah, there's butt plugs in this movie, and they had a Chekhov's butt plug in this movie.
They really did.
They-
And again, it's funny because I said that to you after the movie.
Yeah,
and then,
sorry I quoted you. I didn't
No,
quote
no,
you.
it's all good because the point of this bit is that I was talking to my friend Amanda about it today, and she said the exact same thing with zero prompting.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a movie that's just so much fun to watch. I guess going back to the action, what I appreciate about it is that they actually do the Eastern style of action movies, which is no cutting, wide shots, and really good choreography.
And
One of
it's
the
a
guys-
Michelle Yeoh movie.
Again, Ki Huy Kwan
Yeah.
killed it,
Oh.
and he's not known for doing action, so it was really impressive to see him do a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that fanny pack sequence was fucking crazy.
And
was-
it was so creative too.
Yeah.
I never will look at a fanny pack the same way again. Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those middle-aged dads are like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a win for fanny pack
Um,
lovers.
And I mean, fucking Stephanie Sue has a couple of fantastic
Yeah.
action
Yeah,
scenes.
I forgot about hers, but they're not. It's not that it's forgettable what happens. It's just that there's so much shit in this movie.
Yeah, and the stuff with Stephanie Sue's action scenes is that they are chaotic.
Yeah. I guess if I had any negatives about this movie,
Yeah.
and it's very few, and I think we talked about it before on the show, is I guess the movie's a bit too long at points.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Okay, that's fair. I guess it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know what to cut out, but I feel like if you cut out 10 minutes of this movie, I don't think anything would change.
That's fair. I would say I have like a single minor nitpick of this movie.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, which is that, oh my god, the flashing lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, this has become such a consistent thing. And it happens in movies I like. I liked this movie. Has a lot of flashing light shit that could have been done differently.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Batman. Has flashing light shit that could have been done differently. The movie Escape Room is a fantastic movie that has a really intense flashing light sequence for no reason. And like, it's a cool scene, but I was like, I don't get that kind of, like, I'm not super photosensitive, but even that scene gave me, like, a big fucking
Yeah,
headache.
there's moments in this movie where it was just like, flash, 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 flash.
Yeah.
And then I just had to look away because I was just like, even for me, I'm not epileptic in any nature, but I do have friends that do have epilepsy. And I just found it to be like, oh, God, that was...
Yeah, and they go on for a while, too. Like, they're
Yeah,
long
that's
sequences.
what I'm saying. Like, you can cut that because we got the point.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. There was a lot of moments in this movie where we got the point, and I was just like, move on.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, I liked all... It was only moments like that where I was like, well, this is maybe going on a little long. But, like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like for the scene we were talking about earlier that was like the PowerPoint, even though I love that scene, could have probably cut a little bit out of that.
Oh, I fully disagree. I think that entire...
I'm with Josh on this one.
Yeah, I think that entire scene was super necessary.
Oh, no, I thought it was necessary, even though I loved it. You know, it's just like, as an editor, you just have to... You have to see how far you could take something before it's just like, move on, please.
Yeah, but in that's like an important moment. Like, that would not be...
I know.
You need to savor that moment.
Yeah, and like, the fact that it goes on for as long as it does, I think really adds to the reason that it's there.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to die on this hill. I just thought if I'm playing, like, producer-editor here, I would probably, like, shorten it just a bit and still... Like, you could just shorten that scene just a bit and kind of have the like, what happens in it happen just a bit faster.
I mean, maybe. It's just, like, when I would think of scenes to make shorter or, like, cut down on, that would not be
That's fair.
the scene that I would think of.
Uh-huh. I don't know. There's just so much in this movie. It is literally like... I'm not going to say the reference because it was about to be a spoiler. I was about to say it's like an everything bagel.
I mean, that's not a spoiler. There is a bagel in this movie that plays a significant role in the plot.
Yeah, that, like, you will look at googly eyes different. You'll look at bagels different, cream cheese different,
Fanny packs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs, feet.
Oh my god, okay, I'm gonna say this with the most minimal spoilers possible. The foot-related moment in this movie was the most strangely touching thing that I have seen in so long. And I don't know why or how they pulled that off.
It's the Daniels, man. They know how to take the most weirdest shit and find the smartest thing out of it.
Yeah.
Like farts with the Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
Well, so
And I respect artists who are like, I'm going to take a really weird thing that shouldn't work, and I'm going to try to make super legitimate art out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something that all artists should challenge themselves to at least once in their career.
I agree. Clap, I agree. One really quick thing, there was another actress that was in this movie that is a really brief part, but it made me laugh. Jenny Slate's in this movie.
Why is Jenny Slate in this movie? It's such
She doesn't even have a name.
role.
She has no name in the credits. And she's just known as Big Nose Girl, which I don't know if that's offensive, but it was funny.
I don't...
But she has a fight scene in this movie. Holy shit, did that made me laugh so hard because it was like, God damn, they did that?
Yeah. I remember watching that and I didn't laugh because I was just so...
I laughed because I was like...
I managed to laugh at the end once
I balls on these directors to do that.
Yeah.
Because some of the shots they got with it. Oh, man. The camera work in this movie, just on a side note, perfect.
Yeah.
Camera work, editing. Again, we said costume design, action, choreography. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be my passion projects. And, like, everybody will be happy to have this on their resume going forward.
I just wanted to say, like, to kind of follow-up comment on your whole, like, there could have been parts of this that were cut out. There's something that I always think of, which is this was, as you said, a passion project, super clearly. And something that I love about passion projects is shit like, we're going to make this scene a little too long because we care about it. Because what I think about with that kind of stuff is it's like, it's imperfect, but I love that because if this was more focused grouped, there wouldn't have been room to do something that weird and interesting.
You know what? Yeah, I agree. Because a lot of the times when, like, I like movies with, like, a flaw that I'm like, that's fine. I can move past it.
Yeah.
Like the photosensitivity thing. Like if I keep in mind, I'm probably gonna see. I saw this in a dark room, and those were like bright flashing lights. Next time I'm probably gonna see this is in the comfort of my own room, or with family in a bright lit area. So it's probably gonna not bother me as much.
Yeah.
So like again, there's always like things you could get around. Like okay, maybe this scene doesn't work for me, but there's gonna be 50 to 100 other different scenes that worked for me just as perfectly.
Yeah. And
But yeah.
like, and again, this is not my original thinking, like, just to be clear, but I do respect, like, I have come to respect the idea of artists doing things because they want to and not feeling like they have to explain it to other people.
Yeah.
Like, there is
That's always been the Daniels though.
That is, but that's the thing where it's like, yeah, there are scenes in this movie that are weird and go on for too long, but I like that they're there because it would be a more boring movie if they weren't.
Yeah, that's true. A24 was the perfect producer for
Yeah,
this
because
movie.
they
Yeah.
weren't going to
Production
say
company.
no to shit.
Yeah.
A24.
A24 like did Tusk, Hereditary. They just say yes to everything.
100%. And that's why I love watching A24 movies. You never know what you're
Uh-huh.
going to get.
There's two movie studios that I'm always going to be like, I'm down to go see that movie. Marvel and A24.
That is fair. Complete opposites of the creativity spectrum.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the fun thing about this movie is like, it is artsy. It's not pretentious.
It's not incomprehensible, which is
Thank
what I was
you,
going to be
yeah.
worried about. It is so... Anyone can watch this movie and get something out of it. There is no barrier to entry.
Like, I got something different out of it than you did, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you got
Yeah,
something
yeah.
different out of it.
And it's weird because, like, A24, the thing with them is you are always rolling the dice because they have published some shit. Like The Lobster, one of the worst fucking movies I've ever
Oh,
watched.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hated that movie, and it was A24, but I was like, good.
I was going to say, like, Tusk isn't a great movie, but I still love watching Tusk.
That's fair. But, like, A24, I appreciate that not all of their movies are, like, at a basic level of okay.
That's what I say. It's like Marvel. Like, hey, this one didn't work, so
Yeah.
but like you keep moving on. There's always something different.
A24, you are rolling the fucking dice, and I
Exactly.
love rolling the fucking dice.
That's fair, yeah. But at least with A24, it's rolling the dice in some very different ways.
Yeah, 100%.
And I love both. And I'm still gonna say I love both. They're both cinema in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, oh, I'm not, yeah.
I'm
Movies
not-
are cinema. They're
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, like I have a problem with like that. Whole,
Fuck you, Martin Scorsese. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. If you don't want to be spoiled on this movie, basically what we're gonna say is, go see this movie if you can. If you can't, I highly recommend you watch it on any streaming service, or please buy it on Blu-ray.
Support the fuck out of this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
support this movie.
absolutely.
Support the Daniels. Support A24.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And when Oscar season comes around, refuse to shut the fuck up about this movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's what I was going to say. That, yeah, like, I hope this movie wins an Oscar. At least, if it doesn't win Best Picture, because it's going to be a tough Best Picture win, I'll say this. Michelle Yeoh better get an Oscar for this.
She better.
Yeah.
It's like, this is her...
Stephanie Sue as well.
Yeah.
Fucking all of the leads, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Stephanie Sue for Best Supporting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then Best Actress, Michelle Yeoh, because Michelle Yeoh does such a great job in this movie, and she really pulls out every spectrum of acting for this, and doesn't have to method act.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I just really wanted to stab
No.
at method actors there.
Yeah, can I say fuck Jared Leto on this podcast? That being said, he
That's
should
why
win.
we're not reviewing Morbius.
Okay,
Morpheus.
but also Jared Leto should win an Oscar for Morbius because it's the best movie ever made.
Leave now.
Wow.
I am a notable Jared Leto hater. If anyone can make that joke and maintain his reputation.
Okay. Okay. We're going to move on to spoilers, so please see this movie. Please keep listening to Million Dollar Media. Please keep listening to Wave Radio. And yeah, we're going to move on to spoilers. Okay, open it back up to the room. Let's start with Josh.
Okay. So, the Wayman shit in the later bits with the, like, his strength is his kindness, fantastic.
Love that. That made me
Yeah.
cry because that's something that, like, I deal with personally. Like, I try my best to be, like, a genuine, kind person. And sometimes I feel lesser for it. But just having something in a movie tell you, like, no, it's okay to be kind and it's actually a strength is just so refreshing. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. The other thing that I loved, and I'm going to get into some real thematic spoilers here, so come with me, is the fact that this movie really does something with the concept of human significance versus cosmic significance.
Yes.
Because you know, there's this whole point in the movie where Michelle Yeoh is like, nothing matters, and it's a big turning point. But what's interesting about that is that it's not literally what she's saying. It's that she stared into the void and chose to let things matter anyway. It's the fact that, yeah, things don't matter on the cosmic scale. Nothing matters in the huge, massive scale of the universe, and yet these small things can matter to a certain person. It's inherently anti-nihilistic, which I absolutely love, because I feel like that is a danger that sci-fi can fall into. Like Scooby-Doo taught us that humans are the real monsters, and if that's not deep, I don't know what is.
Right? $1 million media, cutting edge.
Right, but like so much sci-fi falls into that, and getting to see the like, no, okay, nothing.
Movies just fall into that, in my
Well,
opinion.
and I read an article where the Daniels were like, that was one of the themes we were trying to go for, because
Really?
nihilism was like, I think they were just, I'm trying to remember the article right now as I speak, but they were talking about how they had seen nihilism sort of like just become such a huge thing with the younger generation and in these newer movies, that they were like, we're trying to make a movie that goes against that.
Yeah,
Good.
and that's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
It's saying fuck you to everyone who's ever tried to argue that nothing matters, because the point is that everything can matter.
Yeah. There's one of my favorite quotes in this movie is just like, at the very end when it's just alternate dimension. Evelyn just simply talks to her daughter and just says like, yes, I know, nothing, like, you're this, you're that, you're fat, and you can leave if you want, but in the grand scheme of it all, I would rather be right here, right now with you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's the whole moment where she's like, you know, you got a tattoo, and I don't care that it represents our family, because I hate tattoos more than anything. I have no reason to want to be around you, and yet it's all I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking love that moment. And it's just like, and then when she hugs her, she's like, yeah, nothing matters, so like, just do what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because yeah, if nothing really matters, then just do what you want to do in life. Go after that thing that you want to do. Like, and if you can't go after that thing you do, just accept what you have.
Yeah.
Because like the stuff with her and her husband, like towards the beginning of the movie, I think he's filing for divorce.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, I've done everything I can for you, but you're not giving anything back to me. Yeah. Or like I'm pretty sure that's how that.
Well, no, he's basically like, I feel like we aren't together.
We're like we've been drifting.
Every time that you talk to me, it's about something we have to do.
It's not something like we want to do.
Yeah.
It's not. There's nothing relaxed. It's all business.
It just comes down to the end of the movie where it's just like she doesn't like need him. Like she can take care of herself, but it's just like she's so at the point in the movie where she's like, nothing matters, so I'm just gonna ruin my life and all these different realities. He's the one that grounds her and shows her like, look, like you have to still care.
Yeah.
About these small things.
Love triumphing over all.
Yes.
Single best movie plot device.
Yes, again. And not done cheesy, too.
Yeah.
It's done really well. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You could show that. This show basically shows that I've hired people that are smarter than me to explain things. That's
higher, that implies we're getting paid.
Max?
What? Nora, is there any spoiler things that you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered it all. I don't think I have anything to say.
Okay, then I want to move on to, what was your favorite reality in this movie?
Oh, easily Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
That was good. That was the Disney Pixar one that we were talking about, where it's literally a hibachi chef with a raccoon underneath his hat, pulling at his hair. And at the very end of the movie, at some point in the movie, she
exposes Ratatouille.
Exposes Ratatouille that gets taken by animal. What was it like?
Animal
control.
Yeah.
And she has to help him by getting on his shoulders and grabbing at his hair. And then when he can't do it no more, she has to do it. Oh, it just made me laugh so much. But it's so heartfelt because it's just like, yes, this guy, he lost everything that he loves, but like she's gonna help him get it back. And
100%.
It works.
100%. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It works.
It works. Nora, what's your favorite reality?
Oh, I love the Ratatouille. Oh, I'm trying to remember the realities now. The one where everyone's successful.
Really? Yeah, that's
yeah,
a really good one.
it's a very interesting reality because I think everyone at some point in their lives thinks, "What if I could
Yeah.
be more successful?" And
What would I have to sacrifice to do that?
it doesn't pull its punches with that
Yeah.
reality like some other medias might have done. Like, of course, other
Uh-huh.
medias have done the "What if I was more successful?" and it's
Yeah.
it's all glamorous and whatnot. But this
Uh-huh.
one doesn't pull the punches when it goes, "Hey, this is what you lose when you become more successful. This is what you have to sacrifice,"
Yeah.
and it's devastating.
Yeah, it's not a perfect reality either.
Yeah.
But I will say it does have my favorite love letter moment where it literally shows that, yes, the one where Michelle Yeoh becomes a successful movie star and action person, and they show real life clips.
I
Of
love
her
that.
on the red
I
carpet.
love that.
Yeah.
With
I
like
love
they
that
even
so-
show a little bit of the crazy rich
Asians. I caught that one. I
I
was like,
caught that too, and I was just like, they basically said, yes, Michelle Yeoh is practically perfect.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that. No wonder she signed yes to this
Imagine
movie.
the ego boost.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
We want to talk about ego boosts. That should be in the second half of this review.
Yeah, I just want to. There's two realities that I want to talk about, I guess, because
Wait, can I do one more before we get into that?
the realities.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, because it might be one of mine.
Hot dog hands.
Damn it! Fuck you. Yeah, hot dog hands was probably one of my favorite because at first, because I really want to talk about that joke.
Which one? The feet?
No. No, there's a joke with the hot dog hands where they explain, well, how do these hot dog hands
Oh
become
yeah,
a
the
thing?
fucking 2001: A Space
No,
Odyssey.
see.
Where they show at the Dawn of Man sequence in the space in 2001, but instead of just regular monkeys, it's just they have
Hot dog
sausage
hands.
fingers, and then what happened was the sausage fingers killed off all the normal hand people, so they all adapted to evolved to have sausage
Sausage
fingers and
hands.
be good with their feet, and again with the heartfelt moment with the
Yes,
feet.
it
It
all
was-
comes down to the fact that in a universe where we can't use our hands, we learn to use our feet. What a
Yes.
fucking incredible moment for a fucking universe about people with goddamn hot dog fingers.
I know.
I mean, a universe where people have hot dog fingers
Yeah, like
is not something you'd expect when you're talking about a movie that talks about the multiverses.
Yeah.
Mhm, but I loved it.
It was fantastic all the way.
Yeah, I guess the other reality that we also talked about that I thought could be cut down more, but I still loved it, the Rock reality.
Yeah.
That was so creative. Just the simple, like, the text that just said, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That made me laugh because I was like, you could screen cap any of those moments,
Yeah.
and it would remind me of, like, those internet things where it has inspirational quotes with, like, pretty backgrounds.
Yeah.
Which is, I would love just the one that just said,
Fuck. That might be my new
And then
computer
the one where-
screensaver.
The one where it says, hey, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was great. I seriously disagree that you could have cut that down. That was by far my favorite sequence.
Yeah.
I know, but I was just like, I don't want to find negatives in this movie because I loved it. But if you had to pull, it'd be just, you could cut down scenes just a bit. And that's always going to be my thing. Like, there's going to be movies where I'm like, you could cut this out, you could cut this out.
That's fair. I just like,
Like, again, if I have to go by shot basis of, like, cutting, what's wrong with the movie then?
yeah. And see, for me, like, as someone who, and I've mentioned this on your show before, like, I don't care so much about movie-making aspects. I'm here for a story. And that was
That's fair.
such a hard emotional climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, or, like, it's not even it's like a climax in a series of emotional climaxes. But it's such a touching and poignant and funny and sweet. Like, it's all of the emotions of the film wrapped into this super bizarre, beautiful sequence.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, like that was by far the standout thing for me in the movie was like, they did such a powerful and simultaneously hilarious thing with fucking still images and text boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't still. The rocks were still, to a point. But I will say the moment where she's like, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made me laugh so hard, but yeah. Oh, and the action scenes with the butt plugs. I want to talk about that real quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah, the action scene with the butt plugs. The idea is that the bad guys in the movie, which are the alpha gongons, the grandpas,
Yeah.
team, who are trying to stop our main character because she's accepted ultimate nihilism, and just, she's accepted
The void.
no, not the void,
The bagel.
The bagel.
Which is, I mean, equivalent to the void, but it is a bagel.
Yeah, it is a bagel. But yeah, so she has to fight off these people who all have to do weird things in order to gain special powers. So one of the weird things that they have to do is they have to stick something up their ass. So there's an entire scene that's done like a Jackie Chan movie where he's like trying to dodge. So like one of the bad guys has his pants pulled down. He's trying to shove this butt plug up his butt.
The dude does a fucking like WWE jump onto the butt plug.
Yeah.
It's done so well because they like blurred out his dick and balls, but all you see is this guy just spread eagle jump through the air in slow mo, and then just ultimately like bam, and then he does a funny turn to camera, just like I did it.
And Michelle Yeoh has to pull them out during the fight.
Yeah. And one guy shoves like another like trophy up his ass.
Yeah.
And they are fighting with butt plugs up their ass. It's a Jackie Chan meets Jackass fight scene.
Yeah.
That has to be my favorite scene because it's just so dumb. And also the choreography is done so well that I have to love it because I love Eastern style fight scenes. Mm-hmm. And that was just a love homage to it, but just done in the weirdest fucking way possible.
Well, yeah, because it's the best creative decision ever, which is finding the inherent comedy of we're going to play this totally straight.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Because, like, to us it's like, butt plugs. But to them it's just like, no.
Power
this
up.
is life or death.
Yeah. Again, that's why it's so funny, is because we as the audience are getting to witness this being played totally straight.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. But, yeah, that just was my favorite. There's a fight scene with the fanny pack. There's a fight scene with dildos that was really funny. With, okay, I guess we could say this. The main bad guy in this movie is Evelyn's daughter.
Yes, who...
Bad per... whatever.
Yeah, such an incredible villain.
Choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe we're in a spoiler discussion and we're talking about that now. But still, yeah, she is Jobu Tubaki.
And, I mean, that fight scene where she fights those dudes is fucking menacing as shit.
Yeah,
oh,
because
my God,
she's doing everything. Like, it shows the full capability of her power.
Yeah, and the one where she comes from the Alphaverse by doing the neck crack and like goes through several dimensions.
Yeah.
The cuts are so damn good. Yeah, I love, the verse jumping is so good. Alpha Waymond and his weirdness is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the fight scenes with Jamie Lee Curtis. Those were really fun.
I really love the fact that early on in the movie, as a bit, it's like Profess Your Love to Deirdre as one of her verse jumping things, and then the whole hot dog hand universe is predicated on the fact that that's like legit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's totally true. I also love the pinky
Oh
fighting,
yeah.
where you have to learn how to fight. Your pinkies are so strong, and I swear to God, they had the sound effect from Street Fighter with the.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
What is it? Getting smashed off screen. It was that sound. Oh, that was so funny. Oh, Jenny Slate's fight scene with the dog.
With the dog.
Oh my
with
God!
The little
I was
Pomeranian.
like, stop!
She was whipping that motherfucker around and just throwing it. Oh my God! And then the way she cuts the leash and the dog just goes
flying. I'm like, that dog is gone.
Oh yeah.
This movie is sponsored by PETA.
Yeah. No animals were harmed in the making. Yeah.
So overall,
love the movie.
This movie.
Can't wait to see it again. This is going to be a movie that I'm going to be recommending to all my friends.
Yeah.
But none of them are going to watch it.
Again, my friend Amanda was like, yeah, I work at a Starbucks, and I've been telling everyone who deigns to come through our drive-thru.
Yeah, I think, unlike most movies that I've watched, I think this will be easier sell because there's still stuff in this movie that is like, there's action, there's comedy, but the heart is really where it's at.
Yeah, and again, this is a movie where I could go up to someone and be like, trust me, it's good. You don't need to know what it's about.
And if you don't like it, there's bound to be something in this movie that at least you
like.
You have to laugh at.
Yes.
You laugh at, or you have to just admire the balls or like the creativity that is just in this movie. It's just one of the most fun, creative movies that I've seen in a long time.
And for the record, you would have to be like the most dead inside it as possible to be to not laugh at this movie.
Or cry.
Or cry.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, like you will cry at this. I was like, yeah, right, and then halfway through, I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm crying at a fucking PowerPoint presentation with rocks.
Literally.
I'm crying about googly eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, again, what the fuck? And yeah, that's the best part of this movie. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such
It
a
is-
good movie.
It is a wild, wonderful movie. Highly recommend.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up. With me today, I had
Nora Johnson.
and
Josh Nicholson.
yeah, and I've been your host, Max Kellerhals. Please keep listening to more $1 Million. Was there something else you wanted? To
No, I just realized our initials are reversed.
Oh shit. Damn, that's crazy.
say? And then there's me.
Yeah, MK.
MK.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well.
MK Ultra. Are you hypnotizing us, Max?
Yeah, tell
yes.
us.
Yes, I've been hypnotizing. That's why you're not being able to get paid. Moving on.
God damn it.
I knew I wouldn't do free labor.
Yeah. All right. Please keep listening to more of $1 Million Media. We're still going through Anime April as of recording this. And yeah, please keep listening to more Wave Radio. We got a lot of really cool shows on here. And yeah, please like, subscribe, and share. And have a good day.